Pascal Wehrlein. So we spoke to Dilbag Gill, right? And he said he was disappointed of the way that Wehrlein has left. Maybe a tad surprised, we didn't see it coming as quickly as he did. Okay? But, we asked the question, because if you have a look at other sports around the world right now, everyone's signing who is out of contract by, the end of when the normal season would have finished. They said, we have to sign a mini extension. You see it in football all the time, so they can finish off the season. So I put it to Dilbag. I said, was there any contract issues? Was he running out of contract that allowed him to do this? And Dilbag went, no, there was no issues with the contract. So from what we're seeing right now, it just seems like Pascal just packed up and left.
Yeah, it's I think something that makes the whole situation more fascinating is the fact that we still don't know what Wehrlein is going to be doing next season. And that is just it's a really strange situation. And as you say, it could just be the fact that Wehrlein said that I'm not racing for this team anymore and I'm off. I don't really know what to make of it, to be honest. There must be something within his contract or some kind of loophole or agreement that basically he can decide to do this. Maybe he's foregone wages. Maybe he's had to buy out his own contract. I think there's stories about some Spanish footballer who I think it was Pablo Fornals, plays for West Ham. I think he actually once ended up paying money to kind of get out of a contract. But we don't know. It's really fascinating. And you hope for Wehrlein's sake that he does have that seat at Porsche when all this is over, because he's put himself and Mahindra in a tricky situation, and I can understand why Dilbag is disappointed, because he's a driver with huge potential, and to see him just kind of walk out in this way must be difficult to take for the team.
That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how that sort of is come about, because there's more to the story, right? There is way more to the story than we'll probably ever know, and we'll probably have to wait years when we do like an interview with Pascal Wehrlein, and he probably in 5 years' time when he tells us, what actually happened that day. But we ain't going to find out anytime soon. But Jack, the relationship between Dilbag Gill, Mahindra, and Pascal Wehrlein, from the outsiders, looked really good. Even the Race at Home Challenge when Wehrlein was doing amazingly. You got Dilbag willing him on. You've got, Wehrlein looks so happy to be representing Mahindra. And then 2 days after the final, literally, I'm out the door. See you later.
Yeah, no, it came as a massive shock when we saw it about a month ago now, when he announced that he was leaving Mahindra. We had seen the rumours that he was going to go to Porsche, and so we thought, he'll leave Mahindra at the end of the season. But he actually said with immediate effect, which means that he was just out the door immediately, which was the big shock, because I think everyone just thought, he'll finish the races in Berlin and then he'll go off to Porsche replacing Neil Yarni. But no, that wasn't the case, and and Mahindra had to hire Alex Lynn to see out the season. I assume there might. I'm going to go ahead and assume that there might have been something contractual in the Porsche thing, saying that he might have had to leave Mahindra early. That's a guess. Do not take my word for it. Who knows? We might see in the next week or so, Neil Yarni not partake in the final few rounds of the season, and it is actually Pascal Wehrlein in that second Porsche seat. I would have thought that we would have had an announcement beforehand, but yeah, I think judging by the way this kind of early silly season that we've had during this pandemic has gone, anything could really happen. If any of the other drivers want to switch teams now, please say, or forever hold your. I don't know what the line
peace,
is. But yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Forever hold your. Is it peace?
I don't know. I haven't been to a wedding in a while.
Yeah, no, I can't remember it either. For some reason it's peace. I'm forever hold your peace. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, but as I said, it's just mind blowing, this whole situation. Even with Pascal Wehrlein, obviously, mentioning on Instagram saying that he was out, because obviously the stories were just coming out as, speculation, rumors from, places like the race, like saying this is probably going to happen. And then, like, it looked like, I don't know, Wehrlein bowed down to the pressure and just said, I'm out. Or maybe there was a conversation, but Mahindra didn't know, and they saw that story, and they were like, what's this about? And there was, like, some form of disagreement. Obviously, we're making up stuff as we go along here. But, as I said, how does a relationship go from so well? So when we speak about to Dilbag Gill, and, you can feel that sort of, a bit that disappointment, that sort of, I think disappointment is the word. When you mention Wehrlein's name, it used to be, delightful things were said. Now, he's struggling to even put a sentence about Wehrlein together.
I think that what we've got to kind of appreciate is that sport and motorsport is a short career, and drivers have to do what is in their best interest, or what they think is in their best interest. And sometimes that does involve upsetting people that you've had a good relationship with in the past. You see it a lot in football, especially when players move between teams, and to force that move, sometimes they have to upset a few people who they've had good relationship with in the past, and that's just kind of part of how it works. And it's never nice to see, but if they believe that it's the right move for them, sometimes they decide to do it. So I think that Wehrlein would rather the situation not come to this, but if this is the only way that he saw himself being able to do this deal, or if he had a big bust up with Dilbag and the team over kind of moving to Porsche, then maybe this is kind of what had to happen. So as you said, this is probably something that we won't get all the details on for quite some time, but I'm kind of going to hold off before kind of I point any fingers at who I think is responsible, because I think this is just part of sport, that sometimes these things happen.
And that's the thing, right? As I said, we're speculating because that's not what we're here to do, really, but it's just interesting because there's so many, as I said, unanswered questions, and even though we will ask those questions, we are never going to get the answers to them at any point right now. So we're just going to have to find out and wait and see what happens with Pascal Wehrlein. It's an incredible story. And as I said, a shame for Mahindra. I don't think they deserved. I don't think Dilbag Gill deserved to see their star driver basically walk out the way that it appears that he's done. And obviously, you can't batter Pascal Wehrlein from listening to this. Don't batter Pascal Wehrlein, because we don't know the story. There may be a full, easy reason that explains why Pascal Wehrlein left. I'm not trying to make Pascal Wehrlein look like the bad guy, like he just got up and said, bye Dilbag, bye Mahindra, thank you, I'm out, and dropped the microphone, right? I'm not saying that at all. And we're not here at Formula Rezone, but it's just, the story is very interesting, and hopefully one day we will find out exactly what happened.